All right, guys, so you just got done listening to me tell you that you can just go throw this on your horse and give her hell, essentially, and you can just take off, put the first guide on your colt, or go put it on your horse. But there's probably one more thing you want to keep in mind before you just go tack your horse up. And if you went and tacked your horse up, you know, and you didn't watch this video, that's why they're in a sequence. So you might want to make sure that you kind of finish the series before you just go jump on your horse with the Hackamore. But let's go ahead and cover. There is particularly a foundational piece that you want to make sure your horse is pretty good at before you go and put the Hackamore on. Can your horse lead well? Is your horse respectful in the halter? Can your horse bend its head left and right before you get on? It's the same things you do in a snaffle, but before you got on it, you teach the horse how to back up off the snaffle. You teach the horse how to lead by on each side of the snaffle. You have to do the same thing in the Hackamore. You can't just throw it on them and wish for the best, but we want to make sure. A lot of times we find horses that are super pushy on the ground, and so you're going to have your own issues if your horse is running you over on the ground. I wouldn't care what kind of bridle you put in your mouth, I wouldn't be getting on it. But if you find that your horse is pushing through the Hackamore, or say we just had somebody suggest that their horse has been ridden in a tie down, so they've learned to kind of lean, or even in like a running martingale situation in the English world, when they're jumping their horses, they've got the martingale that hooks up to their nose band, and those horses kind of end up learning to lean into something that's on their nose. So of course on the ground sometimes those horses are pushy into the halter. If your horse is pushy on the halter, you might want to get that cleared up before you go and put the Hackamore on them, because it's the same kind of principle. And if they're learning to lean on that, then you can imagine what's going to happen when you go try to get on them. You might have something that leans into that, runs off with you. So what can you do, guys? You can go check out some groundwork videos that we've got. But basically, can your horse bend left and right in the halter or in the Hackamore? Can you back them up softly and they willingly pick their feet up and move back? And, you know, I'd say basically when you've got those basic things where they can bend left and right and they're not walking a bajillion circles around and around and around, and you can back them up, and maybe you can send them out on a circle with the end of your lead rope and they stay bent to the inside, and they just basically understand how to stay soft in that. In a halter, you're going to be set up for success when you go to put the Hackamore on your horse. But if you got a horse that's riding you over or just pushing in the halter, don't expect anything less when you get on them. And so that can lead us into a whole nother can of worms with those kinds of horses and problem solving in that area. But just remember that the Boselle is very much like the halter, so that can work to your advantage if you have a horse that is soft in the halter and obedient and all that stuff. But it can also work just the opposite if you have a horse that is pushy and bracy and all those other unwanted behaviors. So just keep that in mind before you guys go saddle up and toss the Hackamore on your horse. And maybe you might want to check out your groundwork, because you know you got to prepare properly. You can't get up there and hope for the best. It takes true preparation. It takes time before you go do this. It's not a miracle equipment with a bunch of fairy dust loaded in it. It's not going to get you all set up. Like, you can't just toss it on your horse and it's all going to be perfect. You know, if something's not right on the ground, it's not going to be right on your saddle. So make sure you got that sorted out before you just go toss this piece of equipment on there and expect it to work out for you.